The Vision in Me Conference 2019. Presenting Success in You, Tanya Sweeting, Director of New Image Ladies Organization.
Okay? And so a lot of times we look at success as being this big glamour thing, and it has to be popular, and it has to be famous, and you have to be well known to be considered successful. I tell you today, society has put a label on what is success. But you know within yourself, every little accomplishment that you have done, something different and greater than you've ever done before, is already a success. You don't have to wait for no one to tell you you are successful. You should already know when you've achieved something, you've made a great stride to success. And so that is what our objective is today. You are born to succeed. Now, everyone is born with innate abilities, and I call that innate abilities, that abilities that you are born with. You didn't have to learn this. You are already born with it. So as a child growing up, we were already aware of how to communicate, even if we couldn't speak. We know how to shake our head. We know how to make body languages, changing our facial, whatever dislikes. I don't know why it's not clear. So much in the bottom. There it is. A little bit. We already knew the basics of communication. And then as you grow, you continue to communicate. Some of us are introverts, some of us are extroverts. But we all communicate in our own special way. That's a given. We all born with senses, right? Some of us say you don't get no sense, but everybody gets sense. We all born with our five senses. What are our five senses? Our five senses are exactly a taste, a touch, a smell, a sight, a sound. These are all our innate abilities. These are our abilities that we have been birthed with. Okay? And so we have already these senses. We have the sense to figure things out, desiring to explore. We want to touch. We want to smell. We want to taste. We already have that inside of us. We already figure out. We have this ability to figure out. We have this ability to be curious, to explore some different avenues, some things that we've never experienced before. We already have that ability. We already have ability to see a bigger picture. We can see, right? We have that within inside of us. We have an ability to see beyond what we actually can see, even now. We have the ability to have likes and dislikes from a child. A child, you give a child, give me one of them baby food, carrots, green peas, and things. Their faces already, turn up because they don't like that. We have already determined what we like and what we do not like. This is what we've been birthed with. Okay? So we already also have a desire to explore. When you see a child begin to move, and they moving and they creeping and they starting to walk, they just ready to get out there, ready to explore, ready to try something new. We have been birthed with these abilities. Each one of us in our own way have our own abilities, but the exact same senses. We use it differently. That's all. And these abilities is the basics of what we need to understand how to get a hold of what we have to move us into success. When we understand that these are our birthrights and these are our strengths right now, then we can move into success. We all born with honesty. What happened to us later on is that sin crept in, experiences crept in, and the honesty and sincerity just left. You ever had a child, you got a phone call, and you get that phone call, and you tell that child, answer the phone, and you tell that child, tell them I'm here. And they'll be right there. Mommy said, she ain't home. They honest. We've birthed within that. We've birthed with sincerity. These are our abilities that God have already implanted within us. And so there are so many things which is way more vast than what it is, that has already been installed in us from birth. The thing about it is we have not tapped into all of these birth gifts, birth abilities to move it to a level that can bring success in our own lives. But this is the foundation, and this is what we have to understand. We were born already to succeed. We were born already to explore. We were born already to figure things out. We were born already to move up from where we are. That is what we have already been born with. And over the course of life, changes happen, experience happen, and all kinds of disappointments happen, and it causes us to get off track, but we are still out in us. It's still there. You present yourself, and think it is elevating you from where you are now and pushing you to a higher level. That's what vision is. That's my definition. Because it has to be a progress. It has to be different from what you've ever experienced before. So you're changing your environment. Think about that vision. If you really put yourself to work in that vision, then a change should take place. The change should be you. The change should be your home. The change should be your children. The change should be in the environment. The change in the community. No matter what it is. It could be business. It could be spiritual. It could be whatever. Physical. There should be a change. You bring an impact. You have brought an imprint into the society. You have brought you, Tanya, Bethel, you have brought you in there. And you've left it there. You've deposited a part of you in society. And that's what it is to evolve. Evolving to a place where your vision is taking you to bring a change, a positive change, in wherever you may be. Any questions so far? Any comments? Anything? Y'all can always stop me at any moment. So only when your vision evolves, then you will see success. Now I can explain a little bit more about that. Then success is yours. Only when your vision evolves. That means you have understood that I need my mind to be right, my soul to be right, my body to be right. I need to get my abilities in line to where my vision is, and we can move on to that. But only when your vision begins to evolve. Because right now it's just sitting, like in your stomach somewhere. It's sitting. And so it needs to come out. Okay? Now that's not to say you haven't achieved things before, and it's continuous, and that's the good thing about this. There's newness with God every day. And so, just like a vision, it is continuous. I think I'm jumping ahead, but it is continuous. Explore and evolve. We know our abilities. Give me some examples of the abilities I discussed already. I don't expect you to answer me. She was a little late. Come on. What are the innate abilities? Talk to me. The abilities. What have you already been birthed with? What have you been born with? Because if we don't understand the basics, we can't get that success up. Come on, talk to me.
Five senses, spirit, mind, and body.
Okay. Our five senses. Our five senses and our spirit, mind, and body. Okay?
The Vision in Me conference peaked on spiritual economics, presented by Bishop A. Samuel Roll Favor, the Visionaire.
As a member of this congregation in year one. The first year you joined the city, count them and name them. See where you are financially, see where you are economically, see where you are successfully. And if you were to stay in the fellowship for 3 years, you should have excelled. Not just spiritually, but economically. So that's my first challenge. Check your status. Check the things that you possess. Check the businesses that you, check the vision. if you have not started a vision and you are sitting down in this congregation for 3 years and 3 years later, you have not become an entrepreneur, you have not become a business person, you have not become the mention, then you can see yourself as not being a part of the success of the spiritual economics. You must challenge yourself, you must elevate yourself. That when I joined this ministry, I joined and I was at this level, but 3 years from now, I envision myself. And for those of us already in the business realm, you can see that. Now, can you begin to think that? Can you begin to dream that? Because the principle of God is the process of prosperity. The principle of God is the process of prosperity. That's the basic principle. And what we must come to understand is that this principle does not only apply to people in the church. It applies to every human being. And so, find for me, I think Acts 17, read verse 24 and 25. Let's deal with the principle. And then we're going to talk about how we move into the business economics. Acts 17, verse 24 to 25.
God that had made the world and all things therein, seeing that he is Lord of the earth and heaven, dwelleth not in temples made with hands, neither is worship with man's hands, as though he needed anything, seeing he giveth to all life and breath and all things.
God dwell in all men. God created all things.
Yeah.
God made everything
Yes, sir.
available to all men. And so when we talk about spiritual economics, the first question is, where is God in your business? Let's go to session 1, the vital role you play in your own prosperity. Where is God in your business? Spiritual economics requires you to, first of all, to see the God inside of you. And the same God that is in you is the same God in Bill Gates. It's the same God in Mr. Simonet. It's the same God in Mr. Minnis. It's the same God in Mr. Kelly. But we have diminished the capacity and the ability of God within ourselves because we see others greater than ourselves. But I'm going to tell you today that God made no superhuman being. Everyone has the same head, same eyes, same hands, same feet, everything. No one can fly. We all needed to know how to walk. So the first thing, the principle of God is knowing the role that you play in your own prosperity is where is God is in your business. Is to first of all establish that you have the same God inside of you. That to bring out your same capabilities, to bring out your same worth. So you have to begin now to transition your mind that absolutely no one in the earth is greater than you. As long as you refuse to think that you are just as great, just as equal as any successful human being, you will never aspire to be successful. Are we clear? That's very important. Now, the vital role that you play in your own prosperity is not only to see yourself as the God in you sees you, is to know that you have to be able to establish the principal thing. What is the principal thing that you want to invest in, that you want to start with? You have to have an original. And yes, there may be persons that have similarities, but you must have an original. What makes it original is your capability that you have inside of you. And that's one of the things that Elder Tanya touched on, is that you have to know what is the principal thing. To be successful in your business, in your vision, don't become a copycat. Don't do it because somebody else do it. It ain't gonna work. You have to be an original. Don't duplicate nobody. One of the things that established in management, a manager has to be unique in his own style and his own management tools. And so not because someone else operates their business like this, you try to duplicate them. Okay? I still ask the question, where's God in your business? To play the vital role, you gotta always have an open mind to receive even from someone that you may think that is less qualified than you in your business. And so if you, like my son here, specialize in recognition, and I've been in the field for some 30 years, can boast of his qualification, I still can teach him about the business of recognition, because the principle of business never changes. It's just a speciality that changes. So what am I saying here? When you are looking to open up your vision and get started, you're going to have an open mind that even a child can lead you. But if you become judgmental, and that's one of the things, we become judgmental. Oh, I know how to do this, I'm skilled in this, I'm skilled in that, nobody can teach me nothing. And so if you don't open up your mind today to receive what is being presented to you, the vital role that you play in your own prosperity will not be received. So that's the first thing in business. Okay? Know that you play your own role. Elder Tanya touched on a lot of things I should have gone before. You know. But you're the most important person in this. All right? Where's God in your business? Let's look at, research the business pattern of God. Research the business patterns of the kingdom of God. God never directs. We can still be for those who need to be, you know. I'm fine. God never directs a vision without laying out a pathway for the vision. What is the business patterns of God? God never tells you to leave from point A without sending you to point B. To everything, there is a season and a purpose under the heaven. You have to know how to establish, to research the business pattern, to know what is the season that your individual vision will be working in. What is abnormal? What is normal? And when will it peak? What is normal? What is abnormal? And when will it peak? Here's the business pattern of God. You cannot, in the time of plenty, do not provide for the time of famine. And so at the time that you are running your vision, that you are now in your peak season, is your time of plenty. But you got to provide for your abnormal season. And in your abnormal season, you got to provide for your peak season. You understanding that? Let's understand the pattern of God. When there was an abundance of beef inside Egypt, there was a storage set up. The storage was set up for what? The time of famine. And so too many visions have faltered because we take the time of peak and do not provide for the time of famine. That's the business partner of God. Always in the time of plenty, provide for the time of lack. If you're going to be successful in your vision.
Like Alafob said, when you have your vision, which is set for generations to come, for me personally, what I think is that's where the involvement comes in. And so your vision now might be this little thing, but once it gets to the next generation, it should evolve into what it, for that time and that season, for what it's supposed to be, and then so as it when it passes down. So necessarily, it might not be what you started out with, but by the time they get it and they evolve it for the time and the season that they're in, it should be something so much more than what you started out with. And like I think that's where the passing down of the generation thing should come in. Right. You understand what I'm saying?
Listen, I am not here just to share from experience. I'm also here to glean also. My message is simple. Is that we in the kingdom of God, I seek power. But we seek power to show. Power to lay hands on. And power to prophesy. But God said, I've given you power to get well. Okay? My message is simple. Let's raise up our thinking to see ourselves as wealthy people. In order to see ourselves as wealthy persons, we have to begin to speak wealth. Okay? And that's where I started out. It's how you see yourself. If you see others more successful than you are, you will not speak success. So your whole mind thinking has to be open-minded, and you have to now see yourself as a wealthy person. But you do not see it. See, our concept of wealth is to be able to go in the finest restaurant and pay. That's not wealth.
No.
Our concept of wealth is to drive the latest vehicle. That's not wealth. Because there are people that does not profess Christ are eating in a better restaurant and driving a better car. Wealth does not consist of the abundance of things. Wealth consists of being able to provide and sustain not only yourself but the generation that come after you. That's my message. If today you own your own home and you satisfied with it, you need to raise your thinking and go get some more homes. But we have been taught that once I acquire the first home, I made it, I'm successful. I'm successful for you because that home is going to deteriorate. You now have to go and evolve. And so why not have your home and have some apartment and have some condo? Why not? Why not? Why not? Why not? And for those of us, I'm going to come to the practical side here because when the speaker comes, I can stop. Yes, this possibility. You and your husband, you and your wife, just the two of you. Want to build a 4-room bedroom house? Who you can put it in? Just go to but you want to build a 4-bedroom house because you know what society tells us?
Yeah.
Society tells us that we are not successful unless we own a 4-bedroom house. So why not build a duplex, live in half and rent half? And let the half pay for the next half.
Yes.
Are we talking about spiritual economics here?
Yes.
Huh? But why don't we do these things? Because you know what? I want to be successful. They're going to tell me I am successful. And when we build a 4-bedroom house, 10 months later, we can't afford it.
My God.
And the bank take it. Wisdom comes from God. See, the laws of God is the principle to have the force, the ability to produce the fruit of wealth. And so that's why you got to wait till 65 to really splurge. The money you take splurging, you have to go and buy another piece of land, open up another business, bring more investment in. But if you just hit a landfall and you get a profit and you spend that, that's not the principle of God. Do not be like, okay. You understand me?
Yeah.
The principle of God gives you have the force, ability to produce the fruit of wealth. Some of you right now, there are persons in this country that has large homes on realize that it was more economical for them to take that same home, put it on rent, and rent an apartment. It's the principle of God. And they rent their home, that their home will now support the apartment and pay for itself. Do you believe that is happening?
Yeah. Yeah.
The Vision in Me Conference 2019 Excel with the presenter Simone Bowe, the Limitless Life Coach and Consultant.
But that is when you are living in purpose. Yes. There's no timeline on it. So 65 sounded long, though, to be running. So I was in the back there at 60. I was shooting for 50. That's next year for me. 65. Where is that in the Bible? But you know, the thing is with God, you never retire with Him. You know, you keep working in different capacities, different seasons. And so I'm just grateful for just being in God and for the assignments that He gives me to do on His behalf. And so today I want to talk about, really from one of my very favorite scriptures, Habakkuk, chapter 2. It's the famous vision chapter. And I'm going to deal with the first 3 verses. And we are talking about making it happen. And so I have a subtopic, the power and the pain of vision. The power and the pain, thank you, of vision. Because vision is a phenomenal thing, but it also hurts. It will press you and squeeze you until you become the person that you are to become to execute the vision that God has put in your life, in your business, in your ministry, whatever it is that He has called you to do. So Habakkuk 2, starting at verse 1. I will stand my watch and set myself on the rampart and watch to see what He will say to me and what I will answer when I am corrected. Then the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain on tablets, that he may run who reads it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it will speak and it will not lie. Though it tarries, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. And so I want to start off by saying, first of all, that vision, there's another scripture that says, without vision, right? We typically know that the people perish. Other interpretations or translations of that word means that people will throw off restraint. So what does that mean? It means that vision gives us boundaries. Vision assigns us to a very specific place, time, and people. The prophet here says, I will stand at my watch and set myself on the rampart. That was an assigned place for him. So first and foremost, the power of vision, there is an assigned place for you. That's a message right there. Because many people feel that they are out of place or out of position. And sometimes that may be the case, because we try to fit ourselves into someone else's vision. We try to fit ourselves into someone else's assignment because we think that maybe it looks a little bit more glamorous than the one you have in your heart. What you end up doing is putting yourself, we like to say in the church, out of position. What does that mean? It means that the provision, the resources, the support, the grace that is allotted for you, you will miss because you're trying to run somebody else's race. So what is actually destined for you cannot be released to you because you're not in alignment with your vision. You're not in the right place. And what does that mean? It means that we are called to a particular, how can I say it? A particular calling. A lot of times when, like, I am a human resource professional by profession. And so a lot of times when you are in networking environments or you are in interviews and things like that, people will say, what do you do? Right? People always ask that question, what do you do? And so sometimes people get confused with career and purpose. You may be able to express your purpose through your career, but your career does not necessarily have to be your purpose. Your career is what you do to earn money and make an impact. So for instance, for me, I started my career as a teacher and transitioned into human resources and training and coaching and all these other things. Life experiences directed me into those arenas. What I realized is that even though I may have a gift to teach, that the traditional teaching environment was not for me. This is where certain gifts are going to be more dominant. You have some people like a Miles Monroe. He started off as a praise and worship leader and a civil servant. A lot of people don't know that about him. He had a 9-to-5 job like everybody else. He was a praise and worship leader. But there was a season in his life where he put all of that aside. It didn't take away from, but you build upon. Okay, so when you, and I'm building this just to really get us to a point of understanding what happens when the pain comes in vision. Okay, so I'm just building this foundation for you. So the first thing is position in vision. Knowing your lane, knowing your assignment, knowing your purpose, where you are called to, why, and when. Because sometimes we get out of season and we try to push our vision when it is not time. I didn't jump into that. So I will stand at my watch and set myself on the rampart and watch to see what you say to me. And what I will answer when I am corrected. So the other thing about vision is that there is a measure of trial and error. Trial and error. Nobody ever comes up knowing exactly what they want to do and knowing exactly how it's going to go and not making any mistakes, falling down along the wayside, experiencing failures. No one in life has ever achieved vision that way. So there will be seasons and times of correction. When God corrects you, when He says, no, this is not the way. This is not what I want you to do. These are not the people that I want you to be aligned with. This is not the partner that I want you to have in this business or for life. That drop right there. This is not the attitude that I want you to have. What is so disturbing for me as a believer in the marketplace, because you know there's a marketplace ministry, right? It means not everybody is called to serve and operate in the church fully. For those of us who are called to go out into the world and to operate in systems that are not godly, there are people that do that, right? And so we have to always remember that we have to exemplify what the kingdom of God should represent. We ought to be different. We are in this world, but we are not of this world. And too often we see believers that are trying to look like the world, and act like the world, and sound like the world, so there's no difference. And so the unbelievers can't tell who we are. And so sometimes we have to be corrected as believers.
Volume 1 of the Vision in Me Conference 2019.